Entara Tassadar, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PVZ Day, and oh my god, I've just realised that he has a really little cool logo thing going on. I don't know what that's for. If somebody knows what achievement you get that with, please put it in the comments below, because that looks pretty damn cool. So, yeah, this is a ladder game between sevenmelons and myself, Kaelaris, and I've been really frustrated by Zerg recently, so this is me getting angry at Zerg, and I realised a lot that allowing Zerg to get 2 base early on was really harming my play. I mean, I have been able to fend off the 2 base kind of Zerg opening with a lot of Phoenix, etc, because they normally just go Muta, and if you do see them going Hydra, then you can quite easily just kind of grab yourself a Colossi, but then they go Corruptor, and you can't feedback them anymore because they don't have any energy. So, I was going a bit of a day 9 moment there. That was pretty sexyful. That's not even a word. So, yeah, as you can see here, we can see that I'm just going to be throwing Scout up here. Let's go to the Production tab. Let's go to the APM tab. Yeah, Super Spam 120. Blah. And I'm just going to be looking around the base at this point. And so yeah, I was having a big problem with 2 base Zerg. So what do I do to prevent 2 base Zerg? I'm going to throw down a frigging Forge so I can screw up your stupid 2 base Zerg. And as you can see here, I do notice that he is going for this expansion, so I'm going to be trying to deny that as much as possible, and I do get that deny off. Going to be hitting this guy a little bit. I probably would have been able to win this had I just stuck it out, but going to be moving back, trying to get my shields back, and then he does recharge a little bit, but it doesn't matter too much. And as you can see in the base, he's not doing too much. He is throwing down that spawning pool and extractor in order to be able to grab that, but at this point I'm actually pulling back. I actually want him to throw down the expansion, and I will show you why. So as you can see here, he's going to be coming back into his base. No, he's not. And I didn't see this. I haven't actually watched this replay back, so we'll see what happens. He is going to be throwing down this expansion anytime soon. There's like a little dance going on here. Come on, just throw down the frigging... Yeah, there we go. He has thrown down the expansion, and I was preempting this. I was wanting this to happen. I was like, right, yes, I've got you, you bastard. So as you can see, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be throwing a pylon down at the base of his ramp, and a second pylon as well, although I've just realised I've trapped my probe, so I'm going to be cancelling that. I'm going to be throwing down a second pylon for now, since he does have this spawning pool up. And then eventually I'm going to be throwing down a cannon in order to be able to completely deny this hatchery. And this is fantastic. I know that this seems cheesy, I know that this seems... But my strategy is not to finish the game with this strategy. Normally when people go cannon rush, they think, right, I'm going to finish the game with this. But that is not what I'm thinking at all here. As you can see, he does have 2 Zerglings out. And this Zergling would have done a lot better to actually just stick with that probe there, but he decides not to. And a few cannons are now going up at the top of his ramp. So whilst this cannon is denying this expansion completely, he has to run away with that, and that probe does die. As you can see, I've thrown up a pylon here, and this cannon here is covering this pylon, so I can now safely throw up a few cannons here, although that being said, this queen might get a bit annoying at this point. Drone can't come in here, just doing a bit of harassment, but at this point, my strategy, in effect, is working. I have denied that second expansion. I've denied that expansion, so in desperation, he is throwing up a Roach Warren as well as Spines in order to be able to combat this. And as you can see, Queens don't do that much damage to buildings. He's going to be there forever and a day whilst these 2 cannons finish and this cannon warps in. And as you can see, I do cancel that cannon because it was a bit low by the end of things. These cannons are warping in now though, and he's going to be able to fend off this Queen, no problemo. So right now I do see these Spine Crawlers going down, and I'm really wanting to kind of put the hurt on my opponent here. I probably did commit a bit too much to this cannon play, but the main points that I want to illustrate from this, he's actually getting a layer quite quickly, and I didn't notice this at the point. The main points that I'm wanting to illustrate is, if you can deny this expansion with blocking off any kind of reinforcements and a cannon, then you're going to be in a good position to do what the frig you want up here. Nice transfuse on that Spine Crawler there, although I do have a few cannons here poking away at these, and these spines are going to go down pretty quickly at this point. And what you want to be doing at this point is not really committing as much as I did to these cannons. This is a bit silly in my opinion, but just continue your normal game back home. Grab yourself some gateways, grab yourself that Cybernetics core. And another really great thing is, if your opponent doesn't deal with this like blockade quickly enough, you can actually get your warp gates really fast and warping units right at his base, which is really obnoxious and annoying. So as you can see, he does have a layer up. I was expecting him to go Mutalisks, and he's got a lot of minerals building up at this point because he doesn't have the means of getting units out. And please bear in mind that this guy is like a 1.6k Zerg, so you know he's not a complete and utter noob. And he is grabbing an Idosworm as well, which is what I preempted. I knew that, you know, if you're going to force a Zerg into this position where he's pretty much dam contained, he's either going to go Nidosworm or Muters. So at this point I'm throwing down a few more gateways, going to be kind of researching my warp gate anytime soon. Come on, research, research, research. There we go. And it seems like I'm just going to be able to reinforce with this as quickly as possible. And there's another big mistake that I think he actually made during this game. He does have quite a few roaches, which will be able to contend with these units quite healthily. But he does end up putting the Nidosworm in a strange position. So as you can see now, a few more cannons just warping in order to be able to secure this as best as I can. I don't know why I went overkill on the cannons, but just don't go overkill on the cannons. If you can prevent the expansion going up, then you're in a fine position just to do your normal play. I'm going to repeat that over and over and over, but this is what I have been doing to counteract two-basing Zerg, because I frigging hate it so much. And as I said before in my previous replay, this is like the second time I've ever done this strategy, so don't get all mental at me. So, but as you can see now, he's throwing Nidosworm down in my expansion area, in my natural expansion. I would have much rather have seen that Nidosworm down here, because if I can create a funnel here, and prevent him from actually getting up this ramp, then I'm going to be in firm position to be able to get this. So as you can see, I did move my stalkers back here and to see if there was an Idosworm, but there wasn't, and then I noticed that he was coming up my ramp. So what I'm really doing now here is panicking a tad, but not too much, as all his Zerglings for some reason are just stood there. I am warping in a few more units, going to be able to fend this off quite alright. But I would have been able to fend this off even easier had I not committed too much to this cannon push. It did make him spend quite a lot of money on like spine crawlers, etc. Warping in a sentry now in order to be able to force field this ramp, getting a nice force field off there. Although that being said, these stalkers are getting quite a few hits from these Zerglings, and as you can see, he's trying to downpower this forge. Not going to be too much effect. As you can see, I'm warping in more units at this point. And during this, he's not doing too much. You know, one base Zerg is, they really don't like one basing. So if you can just kind of keep them to a one base, you're going to be in a firm position of control, in my opinion. So now flooding a few more Zerglings in, but not doing too much, as these zealots are ripping them to shreds and underpowering that, so I really wouldn't mind actually powering that back up again, but it's not too much of a problem since that Nidosworm has gone down. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be moving these forces down to his base, along with a few more reinforcing ones, and actually warping in at his base. This is the great bit about it. You can actually just warp in right next to his base, which is so cool. I love it to bits. Transfuse going down on that spine crawler. Again, nice use of transfuse. You may as well if you've got a bit of energy. But then again, he doesn't have any injection going on this base here. So now just moving in with a lot of these units here. And I'm pretty sure I could have ended this a lot earlier had I not, again, committed to too many cannons right here. It's a good way to make your opponent freak out and be like, oh shit, there's a load of cannons in my base, what the hell am I going to do? And it seems like now that this is going to be pretty much GG from here on. He is pretty contained. He does have quite a few minerals, but not enough lava to actually be able to make enough units in order to be able to counteract this push. So I'm going to be swinging around here, noticing that there is a weak spot over here, trying to pick off this morphing in spine crawler, trying to pick off this hatchery as well, as I do see this going down. I would have liked to have seen this hatchery a lot earlier, and he is in desperation throwing down another Nidosworm in my natural base. But as you can see here, these roaches are not going to prove to any avail. I'm warping in more units at the top of his base, and that's going to be GG from here on, ladies and gents. Trying to move that sentry into a position more fitting to absorb the hits from these roaches. And that's another mistake I do see. What was it? I see a lot of Protoss players throwing up a sentry, a force field, sorry, a guardian shield when there's like exclusively against Zerglings. Don't do that. It only negates range damage. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching this, guys. This is my take on what I do to prevent Zerg going to base. As I said, I know I committed a bit too much to the cannon, so don't point that out in the comments. Haha, in before. And yeah. So just go to your normal play after you've contained it, and you should be fine. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this like little mini-series on Protoss versus Zerg with Duckload, Dimaga, myself, and 7melons. So I will see you in the future. And just to warn you, I'm going away for a few days, so I may just do like loads of casts and then upload them while I'm gone. So I will see you guys next time.